Hey, this is Adam from bodyweightcoach.com. Still pretty early in the morning here in Quebec City, but just stopping off on my way down to the gym to get in some training for myself, and thought I'd take the opportunity to show you guys a little workout you can do anywhere, anytime. Something simple enough that anybody can do. And it starts out with an old classic from my ski coaching days called the chair. Some people call it the wall squat as well. And that's going to be followed right up with an exercise that we call the jump squat. I'm going to show you the most simple version of the jump squat. So what we want to do to get started, to do the chair, you want to find any kind of vertical surface. It can be a wall, it can even be a tree, something that's going to hold your back up. And you want to sink down into that with your back against that surface until your hips and your knees are bent to about 90 degrees. You want to hold your hands straight out in front of you, and that's going to avoid you putting your hands down on your thighs to support yourself. And you want to hold that for anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds depending on your conditioning level. Maybe start at 30 and you want to build yourself up towards that 60 seconds or so. And then from there we're going to go straight into the jump squat. So you come off the wall, stand up, and you start your squats. What I want to see is sinking down by driving your butt back and down towards the ground, and then pressing through midfoot off the ground, but not just pressing off the ground using your quads, also squeezing your bum muscles, your glutes, and driving the hips forward. So you're actually going to finish off when you're in the apex of your squat with your hips projected slightly forwards. Okay, you start with your hands in front when your thighs are parallel, and as you press off the ground and drive your hips forward, your hands are going to come down and back to counteract the movement of your hips as you drive through the ground. Now what I like about this little workout is, first off, when you're in that wall squat or the chair, you're going to feel a little bit of a burn. You're going to feel like your thighs are burning, maybe shaking a little bit. That's a pretty good indication that you're building up some lactic acid, and that means you're in that zone where you're going to secrete some growth hormone. You might think of growth hormone just as something for building muscle, but it's also an essential ingredient for burning fat. So that's going to be the first part of our fat burning equation. And then we're going to go straight from that, which is, the wall squat is a little bit of a banal exercise if you think about it. I'm not a big fan of the chair in and of itself, but coupled up with the jump squats, it adds a little bit more functionality to it. You're not going to be called in life or in sport to just hold a static position like that for a long time. But it might happen that you have to hold a static position like that and then right afterwards use those muscles for something, in a dynamic or an explosive way. For example, you're moving a couch with a buddy, he yells, "Whoa, hold up." You're, halfway up the stairs, your legs are bent, you have to hold that couch for, 15, 20 seconds while he shifts or, gets himself positioned better, but then you still have to climb the rest of those stairs. Or I can take an example from skiing. It often happens where you'll lose your balance to the back and you'll get that static contraction, build that lactic acid up in your muscles, but then you have to bring yourself back into the driver's seat and you have to keep skiing, you have to keep using those muscles. So it's often going to happen where you go from a static hold, you build up that lactic acid, then you have to use it in a dynamic way. And that's what we're going to get out of these jump squats, is going right into these jump squats. That's going to be using those fatigue muscles, continuing, to build up that lactic acid for the fat burning that we want, but just make it a lot more of a realistic or real life type situation. What I want you to do is go 30 seconds to 1 minute of the wall squats, 10 jump squats, and then you can rest. You can start with 60 seconds rest after that first round, work your way down to 30 seconds rest eventually, and you can do anywhere from 5 to 8 rounds of this little superset of 2 exercises. And the nice thing about that is, it's short. You can do it over your lunch hour. You can do it anytime, anywhere. It's done pretty quickly. And now your homework is, what can you do to add motor sophistication to those two movements? Once it's easy physically to do these movements, what can we do instead of just adding more time or adding more squats? What can we do to make this a more sophisticated movement pattern? All right. So if you can think of anything, drop that into the comments of this blog post on bodyweightcoach.com. Bodyweightcoach.com. Once again, this is Adam signing off, and we'll see you again soon for another bodyweight only, no equipment workout tip.